Make sure you don't miss a thing. Go to starzology.com/newsletter and sign up. Welcome to the Starzology Astrology Podcast. I am your host, Alison Price, and I'm here with my good friend and co-host, Arwynne O'Neill.
Hello, Alison. It's great to be here.
So nice to have you once more. So in this episode, we're going to be talking about mutual reception.
Yes.
So this is what we would call an advanced interpretive technique.
Yeah.
And basically it comes from it's to do with sign rulerships, which planet rules which sign, and when they're in certain positions, they may or may not be in mutual reception.
Yes. And this is Natal Astrology. This has nothing to do with forecasting or anything like that. And this would be something that you may or may not have in your chart.
Yes. Yes. And there must be some statistics on how many charts have it. It's probably less than 10%. However, when you see it, and of course you can get it by transit as well. The daily chart could have it.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
But,
by progression, obviously.
Yes.
We talked about progressions in a different episode. You can go check that out if you're interested.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we all know what a rulership is, or maybe we don't. Every sign is ruled by a planet.
Yes.
And for example, Leo is ruled by the sun. Cancer is ruled by the moon.
Mm-hmm.
Mercury rules both Virgo and Gemini.
Correct.
Venus rules both Taurus and Libra.
Yeah.
Mars rules Scorpio, but also, and then we have the modern and we have some planets that rule two signs.
Yes.
And then we also have some signs that have two rulerships.
Yes. There's a difference there, isn't there?
Yeah, for sure. How many signs have two rulerships? Is it just
three?
Three.
Yeah.
So it's just Scorpio, Pisces, and
Aquarius.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Which is super weird, but it's just those three.
I know.
Yeah. And then, Sagittarius. Oh, yeah, no, it's just Jupiter.
Yeah.
And then Pisces has Jupiter and Neptune.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the thing with those rulerships is that you have 10 planets in your chart, arguably. Then there's asteroids and all sorts of little other whatnots, but the big 10. And let's say you have the sun in Leo. No, that would be in its own rulership. So that would be, what do we call that? Where it's just in its own rulership? Dignity. Yeah. There we go. So if you have the sun in Scorpio,
yes,
then you'd want to look where you have Pluto and Mars.
Correct.
And let's say you have one of those in Leo.
Yes.
Then that's mutual reception.
Yes. And we do have an actual charter for that.
We do. And we had to search high
and low.
Yeah.
Long and hard.
Indeed. As we know, you use solar Astro
Gold, yeah.
And you have tons of charts at your disposal, but there's literally no way to just search by mutual reception. It's not one of those things where you can search by like placement or who has what, like a grand trine or something like that.
No.
And I have about almost 100 charts stored on astro.com.
And can you search there?
No.
Oh, okay.
But I was just searching, looking at all the different people I know and having to literally, scan their placements and be like, okay, so the sun is in this. Nope. Yeah. And we both had a hard time finding examples.
Because it's not just, as I reckon, it's got to be about 10% of charts.
Yeah.
So when you have it, you want to know about it.
You want to know, but it's rare and it's also not easy to search for.
Yeah.
But we managed to find a few.
We did.
Yeah.
So what we're saying here with the example we were talking about. So if you've got the sun in Scorpio, and then you would say, well, which planet rules Scorpio? And that is Pluto. And then you say, well, where is Pluto? And if Pluto is in Leo, which is the sun sign, they are then in mutual reception.
Yeah. Or if you had Mars in.
True. If you had Mars in Leo, then you've got two mutual receptions.
Right. Yeah.
So the chart we have for this is, and you can click through to the blog post about it. This is Hillary Clinton. She has the sun in Scorpio and Pluto in Leo. I mean, it says a lot about her already.
It really does. Yeah.
And so all of the planets could be in each other's signs, and there are multiple mutual reception combinations.
Yeah.
And if you actually go through to the blog post, I've listed them all out.
Whoa.
Because sometimes there's more than others, but it's just trying to make it clearer of what you're actually looking for.
That could actually be really helpful, because if you don't know
if you're a beginner,
just go to the blog post and you'll be able to say, oh, okay, I know someone who has Sagittarius, whatever. Yeah. Cool.
So, for instance, with this one, with the Sun in Scorpio and then Mars or Pluto in Leo, that's under the Scorpio list, and that is the one for Hillary Clinton. So, she's the one we happened to upon earlier, because I jog my memory, because I remember this coming up previously a million years ago, because it's a dynamic placement.
Yeah.
So what it means is that one planet is in somebody else's house. So it's like you're doing a timeshare swap.
Yeah.
I'll go and live in your house in Toronto, and you can come and live in my house in Vancouver for the month of May.
Yeah.
And you're doing this mutual.
It's like a tradesies.
It is, and it's a good thing. And there's no cost to either of you.
Right.
And you're both welcome in each other's signs.
Yeah. And you're getting a little bit of a glimpse of what each other's lifestyle is like, and getting to live in the other's shoes for a bit.
Yes.
But you still bring your own personality to that equation.
Yeah. And the benefit of mutual reception planets is that normally you would look for an aspect, but with these, there wouldn't necessarily be an aspect.
Right.
So this is like these two planets are in cahoots behind the scenes with a back channel.
Yes. I love that. Just like in the old game Clue, how there were like
the back door.
Yeah, the secret passage from the lounge to the conservatory, or the kitchen to the whatever
library
it was.
or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is what you have. Now, you can have more than one mutual reception pair in your chart. You could have this and Sun and that, and you could have Mercury, Venus. So you don't just find one and think, oh, that's it.
Yeah.
There could be multiple, and you need to be you need to be on the lookout for these, because they will clue you in that these two planets are working together.
Yes, that's super cool. And I mean, we've talked about Hillary Clinton in the past, and actually one episode I would urge everyone to listen to if you're interested in this topic is the interview I did with the Greek astrologer Thomas Kazis.
Okay.
Because he talked about mutual reception between charts as an inter-aspect comparison of couples. And he talked about Hillary and Bill Clinton, because she has the sun in Scorpio and he has the sun in Leo, but they have their moons or something. Anyway, I can't remember the exact combination, but basically they have mutual reception, but between their two charts, essentially, which gives them it's a staying power. And people are like, why are they still together? And then you find out that there's this. Yeah.
You can't see it unless you're looking.
Yeah.
Because it's not just an aspect. We think, oh, let's look at the aspects. And you look at the aspects. And you might say, well, the sun does not aspect Pluto. Of course it could. And if it did, it would be a square. Scorpio to Pluto. And actually, no, she doesn't have the square. But she could have had the square.
Yeah.
And then that would be like, honestly, a triple whammy, never mind a double whammy. It would be, but she is a powerful woman. Let's face it. There's no question
and this
about
just cements that in a whole new guy.
Yeah. So, so that's kind of interesting. That so I'm hoping that's clear that you've got the sun is in Pluto sign and Pluto is in the sun sign.
Yes.
And you're looking for pairs of planets, and they are mutual reception. And if you were doing the dispositor tree, of which of course you are, this goes on the top line of the dispositor tree because they have level pegging within the chart.
Right. So would they always be then, if someone did a dispositor tree and they have mutual reception in their chart, it would always be those two planets. Yeah.
Yes.
That's very cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and everything can hang off the mutual reception, or you could have this mutual reception chunk and then something else over here, a separate tree.
So maybe one would just be that one planet. It would be the sun by itself, and you'd have like a whole bunch of things under Pluto, or they could both have their own trees below them.
Yes. And if I'm not mistaken, Bill Gates has this. So I haven't got his chart at my fingertips. Okay, so we've just pulled up the chart for Bill Gates, and because I remembered he had a mutual reception, and he has the exact same one as Hillary's got the sun in Scorpio and Pluto is in Leo. So it's this generation of all those people with Pluto in Leo will potentially have a mutual reception when the sun is in Scorpio for that year.
So every Scorpio of that generation will have a mutual reception.
Yes.
Yeah, because it has nothing to do with the actual degree.
Correct.
Cool.
And he too does not have a square, but he does have these two exact same planets as what she does.
Yeah. And when we were searching our mutual databases for examples, I sort of clued into the idea that maybe outer planets were the way to look, because I have the kind of outer planetary knowledge of when roughly Pluto was in different signs. I just happened to have done a lot of research on Pluto, and so I was thinking, okay, who do I know who has Pluto in Leo? Do I know any Scorpios? No. Okay, who do I? And then you were like, Hillary Clinton. And I'm like, hey, but I mean, if you know a certain generation of people who were born in the 80s, whatever, who would have Pluto in Scorpio, and maybe So,
and there was that group who had Saturn in Aquarius and Uranus in Capricorn.
Oh yeah,
period.
The late 80s. That whole everything was in Capricorn for a while there.
So if we consider today's chart, we've got Pluto in Aquarius. So anyone who you see, but the thing is, you're not going to have
because then it would be Uranus
or Saturn in Scorpio, and they're not there, and they may or may not make it around there until Pluto's there. But if they did, that would be interesting too.
Yeah, so it would be more like a back half of the last century thing, because then Pluto wouldn't have been in a later sign. Yeah,
so that's with the outer planets. But of course, with the inner planets, it could happen. Well, it happens virtually every year.
For sure. It's just a little harder to find then if you're trying to find.
So if the sun is in Cancer, and then during that month, the moon will be in Leo at some point. And that then would be that's the big mutual reception.
Anyone you know who has the moon in Leo and the sun in Cancer, that's a mutual reception. Right?
And they are, of course, can't make an aspect because they're right next to each other. So that's tricky.
Yeah, that's a really interesting one, actually.
Yeah. And some of the closer planets like Mercury as well, if Mercury is in Leo and the sun is in Virgo, that's fine.
Yeah.
But can Mercury be in Leo and the sun in Gemini?
Yeah.
It is a stretch, but it can be done.
For sure.
I think because Cancer's in there and that's 30 degrees. That's why it can't be done.
Yeah.
So if you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, because Venus and Mercury can only be so far from the sun.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there are some that cannot happen, but there are others that will. So if you've got, say, the sun is in Virgo and Mercury is in Leo, that is a solid mutual reception.
Yeah. You could have someone with Mercury in Taurus and Venus in Gemini.
Yes.
That's very possible.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You couldn't have someone with Venus in Gemini and then Mercury in Libra because it's too far.
Yeah.
So there are particular ones that you can't have that you think you would because of the inner planets. Those two, Mercury and Venus. Yeah. But the rest, it's fair game.
Yeah.
Fair game.
Yeah. I love that you mapped that out on the blog post though. That's really cool. Basically what you do is you're looking for your sun sign.
Yes.
And then you've listed any mutual receptions that would exist.
Exactly.
That's
exactly. Cool. So I start off basically in Aries. If I say, well, if the sun is in Aries, is Mars in Leo? And if it is, it's mutual reception.
Yeah.
And we go from there. But not all the combinations are through because of what I was just saying there with the inner planets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
So again, with mutual receptions, these two planets are working together. So interpretively, you need to consider that they are working together, even though there's no aspect.
As if it was a conjunction.
And there's no rhyme or reason. They're not necessarily an aspect, although they could be. And as we say with the sun Pluto, that will be a square or nothing.
Yeah.
Whereas the moon and sun in Cancer and Leo, what do you guys? The aspect's not worth talking about. Well, there could be a conjunct, let's put it that way.
Yeah.
But and then you get to the other ones as they go further out. So say you've got Mars in Sagittarius and Jupiter's in Aries.
Yeah.
That's a trine, right? So there are only specific aspects that go with each mutual reception.
Yeah. But that's almost complicating it.
Yes.
If you're actually just searching to see if you know anyone who has this.
Yeah. So you need to look in your own chart. You work your way through, find out what's going on. And of course, you can follow today's chart. There aren't any today, the day we're recording this, there aren't any, but there will be at some point as the planets keep moving.
Yeah.
And mutual reception, of course, if you listen to our progress one, you can also get a progress mutual reception.
Totally, yes. If you don't have any in your chart, don't worry, you will.
Well, yes, right. And it's a nice thing to have because it's showing that these two planets are working together. They are welcoming each other's sign.
It's like in Survivor, they formed a secret alliance.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. In the back channel. Yeah, that's a good program. I recently got into that.
Oh, nice.
Which is, I don't know what took me so long. But anyway.
That's hilarious. I recently saw the movie Send Help. This is just a super dumb. Yeah. So if you're playing at home, take a drink. We've just taken a complete dunk.
Yeah.
So the movie Send Help, it's this mousy
Send Help?
Send Help. Yeah. This mousy woman who works in an office and she's kind of henpecked and, has a bird at home and, doesn't, look all that glamorous and her bosses are kind of like super, mean to her and sort of dismissive, but she's quite intelligent and she's obsessed with the with Survivor. And this comes out because her bosses are making fun of her, and they find an audition tape that she did to get on Survivor, and they're making fun of her. And then the corporate jet crashes. I'm not telling anything that's not in the preview here in this trailer, but she ends up crashing, and she and her boss are the survivors of this plane crash. This corporate jet crashes on this island, and hijinks ensue because now the tables are turned. She's got all the survival skills, and he has none.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Well,
super good movie.
Sidebar, honestly, this January I discovered Survivor, and I didn't even know it existed. My daughter put me onto it, and I know, right? Sorry, I don't watch much TV, I went back and I've watched all the episodes now, and I'm now up to date on episode 50.
Wow.
And I saw how it developed and this and that, and to start with, I couldn't make sense of what they were talking about.
Yeah,
but
now you'll probably get all kinds of pop culture references that you didn't know before.
Probably.
People talk about, voting him off the island and making
exactly. And these back channel alliances, this is what mutual reception is all about. It's not in your face.
Yeah.
It's not, so you won't be saying, but why does she do that? It's because she's got this mutual reception in her chart. And hopefully if it's two planets that are aligned, they're going to give the same message, but it could be disparate planets too.
Yeah, for sure. They very much could be.
That are struggling to make a statement there somehow, right?
Yeah.
Because if you look at the sun moon, if the sun is in Cancer, if the moon is in Leo, neither's strong in either.
Yeah.
But sometimes you get a mutual reception where one of the planets is in exaltation or something like that. Yeah. And then it's got this kind of double whammy point saying that these two energies are coming together and the person will use them.
Yeah. Very much a good example with Hillary Clinton. I mean, she's clearly an incredibly powerful, dominating force.
Yeah. And she's stuck by her man, right? You know what I mean? Yeah. And very publicly as well. Yeah. And if we look at Bill Gates' chart, it's the same combination as Hillary Clinton, but he has staying power.
Yes, you're right. Seems unassuming.
He is unassuming.
Doesn't
yet
come across as super dominating, but I've read accounts of people who worked for him, and he is definitely.
If you are a returning listener and enjoying the Starzology podcast, supporting the show is always appreciated. It helps us continue producing episodes and covers the costs involved in keeping the podcast online. There's a link in the show notes.
A force to be reckoned with.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, the Sun and Pluto, right?
Right.
And even today, we're paying for Word every year, and he's getting my shekels. Yeah. So you've got those, Yeah. So do we have a couple of other examples of mutual receptions that we could kind of run past here?
Yeah, I was really keen to find some celebrity examples. I couldn't find any in just my favorite people who I've got stored in my thing, but I did find a couple of friends of the podcast.
Okay.
One of them being my dad.
Fantastic.
So, yeah.
And what's his combination?
So his combination is my dad has Sun in Aquarius and Saturn in Leo.
Right.
Yeah.
So do they have an aspect? Let me ask you, because it would be an opposition.
It's an opposition. Yes. Yeah.
Wow. So this is what I'm calling a triple whammy, right?
Yeah.
This is what we said.
Right. And he's in that Pluto and Leo generation, baby boomer or whatever, but he's got Pluto conjunct Saturn in Leo, and those are both opposite the sun. Wow. So that's a pretty powerful aspect already. But then just as a bonus, he's got that mutual reception.
Yeah. So he's got the Sun in Aquarius, which is not well placed. It's in detriment there.
Right.
But Saturn in Leo is bound to be pretty strong there too.
Yeah.
So they're both working together. And these are also, of course, indications of the father. Yeah. So I don't know what his story is with his father, maybe.
Well, his dad was a World War II veteran and a very sort of dominating force, a military man. He ended up being in real estate, a Gemini, a very charming man, but also a very disciplinary father who had 6 children. Wow. And it was very domineering, I guess. I only saw him as like this benevolent grandfather who, was super jolly and was had 15 grandchildren or whatever, and six children. And it was like the life of the party. But for my dad, it was, he was a disciplinary force and like kind of a hero, but also kind of like that unquestioned authority. And my dad was of that hippie generation where you wanted to question authority. And,
right.
And it was,
And the reason we're talking about his father is because when the Sun and
Saturn.
Saturn come together, there's indications
Sun,
of the
Saturn.
father.
Yeah, for sure.
Very interesting. That is an interesting combination. It's funny that Sun's featuring all of these examples so far.
Right. Yeah, totally. Yeah. And I mean, just to spin that around, then my father has gone on to then be, a super supportive and creative influence for me and also his two sons who ended up following in his footsteps and became musicians and teachers. And now, they have a very close relationship among the three of them. So he's gone on to represent all of the good aspects.
He's built his army.
Yeah, the army of musical teachers.
Yeah, and he was here last year, wasn't he, for your birthday? So
so
brilliant,
great relationship.
And do you see that mutual reception in him? Then, would you say? Although, as we said, there is the aspect, but it's got to be there. It's got to be front and center. You've got to be able to see it.
Yeah, I see it in. It's interesting because he doesn't come across as like a super forceful person,
right?
But he's got staying power and he's got this sort of determination and
he's
fixed, incredibly fixed. He's been with his wife since he remarried in the mid 80s, and then they immediately had their two sons, and they've stuck together through thick and thin, and just a very. And they've got the same house. They built.
Well, they never moved.
The garden. Yeah, no, exactly.
The furniture doesn't move.
No. They finally remade the top of the top floor of the house. That used to be the boys' room and the music room, and now they've got this massive bedroom that they, all his, like I think they got a contractor in just to do some plumbing stuff, and he did basically everything else. He's in his 70s. He's like laying like flooring himself and sanding everything himself. Right. Of course, because why would you hire someone?
Stability is fixed. It really is. Right. Resist change.
And he gardens and does all
fantastic.
The things. And he's just in. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's super interesting that we can even take that mutual reception and extract it and analyze it independently. Say, well, how is this showing up in the person's life?
For sure.
This is what we're trying to do, right?
Yeah. I think there's something to do with health there too. Because we talk about Saturn being the health of the bone structure and longevity and things like that. And Saturn conjunct Pluto, I think, would definitely have something to do with longevity. And he is in incredibly good health and just very solid, so that's
amazing. Good to know. Good to know that.
Yeah, exactly. Anyone who has parents of that Pluto and Leo generation, or if you are listening, that's something to look for.
Yeah. Good one. Yeah.
And I did find one other chart.
Okay.
And this is also a friend of the podcast, Katya.
Okay.
Yes. So if anyone is a longtime listener, they will remember with fondness the episodes that I did with Katya. They were some Wednesday episodes a year or so ago. And Katya has a mutual reception. She has Mercury in Taurus and Venus in Gemini.
Yes. Now, that's an interesting one because they're both these two. Let's just stop a moment. These two signs are next to each other. So Mercury in Taurus and Venus in Gemini is one mutual reception that Mercury and Venus do. And the other one is the Libra Virgo one, which is interesting.
Yeah.
So here we have Mercury in Taurus, and I don't suppose there's an aspect because they're too close together.
Right.
And then she's got Venus in Gemini.
Yeah.
So do we see this in her? She clearly has social skills and ability with languages.
Oh, yeah, totally. I mean, she I think knows, at least Ukrainian and English. And she grew up in the Ukraine. She lived in Lebanon for a bit as a child.
And she's got a fashion sense, second to none.
Fashion sense, wonderful. And she has her own business. Yeah. And she loves to gaming.
Cosplay.
And, costumes. And she actually joined me in a dance performance that I did last.
Really?
We didn't do the same performance, but she joined the same group that put on a performance at the same evening. So she just, came out of her shell and was absolutely wonderful on stage, just a gem and a radiant performance there. And so she's got a lot of different interests, which is very Gemini. Yeah.
And because it's the two inner planets, you've got that social ability to talk and then the social skills as well.
Yeah.
So you bring in the two together, which we as humans, we value.
Yeah.
Has she got some conversation and has she got some table manners?
Right.
And these two are planets bring those two together. So she must be able to move through society smoothly because of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And as I say, there's no aspect, but this mutual reception will link these two planets together, which is so interesting.
It is. And you wouldn't normally think, like you would think Mercury in Taurus is not super well placed.
Yeah.
And Venus in Gemini also not like the greatest placement.
Exactly.
But the fact that they've got that mutual reception, it comes together and creates this sort of effervescent, charming, you know, life kind of, just bubbly.
And because it does matter what the planets are when they're in mutual reception. Because if you've got two harsh planets, let's say, so you've got Mars and Saturn in mutual reception, that must be a tough one to have because it's going to make you abrasive. And
yeah, or like the Hillary Clinton and Bill Gates thing. It's like you're a super powerhouse, but people aren't like saying like you give great dinner parties and you're an awesome person to chat with. Like you're terrifying.
I mean, she wore those pantsuits all her life, right? You know, it's not Anna Wintour here. But because those are the two different planets, the Sun and Pluto, whereas Katya's got this Mercury and Venus adding to her personal charm.
Yeah.
Regardless of where's her sun then? Is that in
Sun in Taurus? Yeah.
Oh, you see, yeah. So you know you've got this. It's a very interesting combination, and it's something that you can lean into, or she could lean into, which she naturally, clearly does.
Right. Yeah.
And this is the thing with mutual receptions; they step forward and become part of the personality of the person, even though we're thinking, "But why is she like this? You know, why is this being expressed?" And it's because of this mutual reception. They're working together.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
Another interesting thing that you could do with mutual receptions, if you're not particularly, well, as a theory, is that if you have a partner and one of your planets is in the sign that is and you've got the mutual reception across charts. So it's not in one chart, but the two of you have this energy that is connecting to each other.
Yes.
So say, for instance, if you have, I don't know, Mars in Taurus, and he's got, say, Venus in Aries or Scorpio.
Yes.
You've got this hidden, it's like I imagine a silver thread going across the two, because even though that Mars in Taurus is still going to want to connect to that Venus in Taurus.
Yes, absolutely.
So I don't know if you have that. That's what I'm actually asking you.
Yeah, no, with Roger and I, we have so many connections in our chart, we don't even need that.
Okay, well, there you heard it here first. I mean,
no, our charts are ridiculously connected.
Yes, but you've got well, what am I saying? You've got Mars in Taurus. Where is his Venus? That's my question.
His Venus is in Virgo.
Oh, okay. So it's not making that connection, but you can get it sometimes with couples that they've got, say, she's got the moon in, Leo, and he's got the sun in Cancer, and there's this understanding of you're welcome in my house sort of thing.
Well, according to Thomas Gaziz, Bill and Hillary Clinton have that. And also Melania and Donald Trump have that.
Really?
Whereas their charts, if you just look at them on the surface, you're like, why
are they together?
You wouldn't even see it from just their sun and moon or whatever.
Yes.
But then you look at the mutual receptions and you're like, oh, okay. Yeah. Then you see it immediately.
This episode is brought to you by New Moon Wishing, a self-care guidebook for wishful thinkers. Please see the link in the show notes. Yeah, it's another it's like an indicator. It's not necessarily a strong one, but you need to, if you're working with couples charts, look for that too, because if they are hidden connections. Maybe you've got Mars in Leo and they've got the sun in Aries. Right there, those two planets are going to be able to communicate and gel and say, yes, I see you and you're welcome.
Yes, exactly.
It might not be easy, but you've still got that. Do come in, you're most welcome. Do come in. It's like when Aunt Agatha comes to visit. Oh, do come in and sit down. And
it's a magnetic connection that makes things easier, even if there's other aspects or a lack of aspects even that you would think these two charts don't match at all.
Yes.
But then there's that.
Yeah. So, that's another, what would you call that? Cross charts, mutual receptions, because they're not in the same chart, but you've got this connection of energies that is similar that, there's a reason you came together. So
Yeah.
that was something I just wanted to mention too, which clearly needs more research, somebody, and write a book about it. You know,
for sure. I think
in your spare moments.
Yeah, Thomas Cassis might be writing a book about it.
Oh well, there you go.
Yeah,
and you know he can expand on that more, and I'll put a link to that particular podcast episode below as well.
This is really it was an interesting chat for sure.
Yeah,
because it's like a little hidden Easter egg in the chart.
It's like a gem. Is it an Easter egg? Is that what they call it? A hidden bonus.
Yeah.
Look under the rug and there's an Easter egg, and I'll take that one.
Right. You know, it's like in movies where a director will like hide a little reference to like another movie that we were watching Mr. and Mrs. Smith last night at the bar. They just had it on silently, and that's the best way to watch that movie, because it's not a great movie, but my God, are Angelina and Brad gorgeous? Like, wow.
Brentolino, yes,
just
indeed.
Peak Brentolino.
Yeah.
Oh, we're all just watching it so distracted, just like going, wow.
Mm-hmm.
But at one point they're trying to beat a confession out of someone, and he's wearing a Fight Club t-shirt, and you're like, come on. Like, Brad Pitt is beating up this dude in a movie, and he's got a Brad Pitt or a Fight Club t-shirt.
Yeah.
It's another Brad Pitt movie, obviously. If anyone doesn't know that, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, yeah.
Anyway.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's what that is in the chart. It's an Easter egg.
An Easter egg in the chart. So we're looking for Easter eggs. I just love it. I love it. Yeah. And, if you look at, say, the transit chart, so I'm just going to put up the chart for today, which is way before you guys are listening to this. Yeah. And ultimately, there's nothing particularly that is in mutual reception at the moment. But as the moon moves around, it will trigger more mutual receptions than any other planet.
Right.
There's nothing standing particularly strong here. So, but as the year progresses and unfolds, you do get mutual receptions.
Yeah.
And they're in the transit chart, and one wants to pay attention to them, because it's a subtle way of understanding the chart, rather than just going, oh, well, she's got, Mars and Taurus and Mars in the seventh, and that's all you've got. You've got to go deeper than that. You've got to dig a bit deeper.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah. And so, I've just found one more example, and this is my brother Scott, and he has Mars in Virgo and Mercury in Scorpio.
So they're in mutual reception.
Yeah. And that's really interesting, because obviously Mars in Virgo is not the best placement for Mars. It's not the most martial of places.
Hang on, I've got that, and I'll tell you, it's a pretty quiet Mars.
It's a quiet Mars.
It's a quiet Mars. It's the workaholic Mars. I'll tell you.
He is a workaholic.
Yeah.
As I've mentioned in the past, he is a musician. He's also a music teacher, and he works in universities as a music professor, like a music theory professor, which sounds like a lot of hard work.
Wow.
Yeah, but he's incredibly talented, and that Mercury in Scorpio, again, not the most easygoing placement for Mercury, and
so are they sextile? That would be the only aspect they could make there. Maybe they are, maybe they're not.
They
but
are not.
Okay,
no.
Yeah, you see, again, they're not, but they're working together. So this Mercury in Scorpio must mean that he, languages, and of course music is a language, right? And you'll use it if you're playing piano. It's Mercury when you're tinkling the ivories, and with that there must be depth there too, because it is Scorpio.
Yeah, and I mean that is the musical side of the family. Is my dad's. Yeah, they're my dad's sons, and obviously like half brother, because my dad remarried. But yeah, they were playing music from like toddlerhood, and he plays guitar. He plays.
And would you say he's pernickety about this Mars in Virgo? About
it's a great question.
Because I, as I said, I do understand Mars in Virgo, and I wouldn't say pernickety is the word, but it really is, to be honest.
Yeah.
I can split a good hair. Yeah, I tell you.
Probably so.
Yeah. But you just want to get the details right, and get the, So if he's reading and writing and creating, one would assume that maybe he's even a writer, maybe he's a composer, because it is music we're talking about.
100%.
Where he's using that Mercury to actually, as a language.
Well, my dad shared his dissertation when he graduated, and he shared it in the group chat, and I was like, oh, this is an interesting insight into my brother. I'm going to take a look at this. It was like reading another language. I'm like,
wow. Okay,
so I skimmed
much like some of our podcast episodes. So
yes, I'm sure he would feel the same if he listened to any of this podcast. But I was like, wow, he's a smart cookie, but nope. I don't understand a word of that.
I think the thing is, because there are so many mutual reception combination possibilities.
Yeah.
Obviously, you can't learn them all, but you have to be able to say, can I see this being expressed in this person? And generally they are, because they are front and center.
Yeah.
They're not hidden in the back,
Right.
So.
And what we're saying, like when we talk about these placements not being like super strong, the fact is that the mutual reception is making them stronger.
Yes,
the
that's
fact
right.
that you have this
back channel,
not super well placed Mercury and not super, whatever Mars, but the fact that they're coming together in this back channel is like forming this like secret alliance that then gives them this steely, intellectual powerhouse move behind the scenes that he might not seem like whatever on the surface, but then it's like, oh wow. Jeez.
It's very interesting when you start looking into these things, and these really are the subtleties, and it's advanced natal astrology. But if you're listening, if you've got this far through the podcast, do yourself a favor and look for these, because they are important. I had a client earlier this month, and she had a mutual reception. I had to bring it forward and explain it all to her. But and it's triggering because people know about them. It's not a mystery.
Right. Exactly. You can then say, well, okay, so you got Mars and Venus and mutual reception.
Yeah.
How is that playing out in your life? And they're like, oh my God, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's a one, right? Mars and Venus, because it's the girl boy thing, right?
Yeah.
And I don't have any. It's so frustrating, and neither do you. I mean, we've lost out on the mutual reception gene or something. But
I mean, at least you've got the Sun in Leo, and I've got my Libra and Venus and Libra and
you've got your planets in rulership, which is
rulership,
pretty strong. Yeah. There's that too, and but you want to be looking for it. And also, as we said in the dispositor tree, they will come up. They are top line planets, and also the progress dispositor tree, which maybe if you're calculating that, which you would be, you need to pull them forward, because that will show what's happening until they move off position.
Yeah,
and it's an interesting thing,
totally.
Yeah. So, Arwynne, having us now spoken about the mutual reception, what are your views on that then?
I mean, I really like this this sort of hidden. It's like having a little hidden superpower.
Yes,
right. And
in your back pocket, sort of thing.
You're kind of like, well, my Mars isn't all that well placed. I don't have a mutual reception with it, but were I to find that I did, I would be like, oh, yay. Okay. It's like realizing like, okay, well, my Mars isn't well placed, but it's trine my sun. So therefore I have, whatever. Yeah. But this is like, it's like another way of giving power to planets that might not have, or they might.
Anything.
Or they might, but also they have.
It might underline something that's already quite clear.
Yeah. Yeah.
But sure. I find that they are interesting, and it's particularly if there's no aspect, then it's super interesting because you've already worked on the aspects by the time you get to mutual receptions.
Totally.
This is not the first thing you look at.
No.
It really isn't. It's down the road. But you're looking for it, and you're saying, is it there or not? And if it's not, move on. But if it is, go deeper. Yeah. Because it has something to say,
Yeah.
all these patterns and that within the chart.
Yeah. And I think it's really interesting too that it's a part of the rulership bit of astrology, like that whole sector. And that sector is an interesting artifact.
The essential dignities.
Is it? Yeah, because that's kind of archaic and strange and interesting and weird and has to do
why does the sun rule Leo? And
right, exactly. We had that one question a long time ago in one of our Q&A episodes. And at first I thought, well, who knows why, some have more than one and some have this and that. But it turns out that there's an actually incredibly good reason. And it's because it goes back to the Roman Empire and what? And they thought that there was something incredibly special about the signs that were born in the summer months because the summer was like exalted. And so if you were born while the sun was in Cancer or Leo, you only had the sun or the moon to rule you. And everybody else gets, whatever's left kind of thing. Which is like, what? I had no idea. So this is one of those things like that. It's a vestige of rulership, which is, this kind of bizarre, what? Yeah. But it gives you this like sort of secret, cool back channel, interesting.
It kind of is. It's important.
Yeah.
And as I said, I know, but most astrologers don't do it, but I always do. And it's like when you've learned this trick, why would you not look? You would look. You would always look.
Totally.
It's like other things we talk about on this podcast that you would look. Why wouldn't you?
Definitely.
When you would now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have been talking about mutual reception in natal charts and other charts for that matter. And this is really when one planet's in the other planet's sign and vice versa. And it's an interesting thing. You can have multiple pairs of mutual receptions or you can have none. It just depends on the chart.
Yeah.
So as I say, you can click through to the blog post and look at some of the examples of mutual reception that can be found, because there are a lot, but they're not all of them are there. And we have spoken about a couple of charts that have got them. And that's super interesting.
Yeah.
So if you have found value in this episode, please do consider sharing it with anybody who would be interested. Make sure you're getting our newsletter, and you can sign up at starzology.com/newsletter. Additionally, make sure you're getting Arwynne's newsletter, and you can find Arwynne at...
I'm at mspink.net, MSPINK, and I send out my weekly newsletter every Saturday.
Fantastic, yes. So make sure to like our podcast, give us a thumbs up on YouTube.
Give us a 5-star review on Spotify or Apple.
Absolutely. Go for it. We put a lot of time and energy into these podcasts, especially for you, and we love doing it.
And you can also support the podcast if you go to starzology.com and
link on the blog here. You can support the
below.
podcast if you like.
The podcast.
Just to
it helps to keep it going.
It really does.
Yeah. Because we're doing this for free because we love you.
Yes, yeah.
But we all have rent to pay.
Yeah. So thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Thanks so much for getting this far through the episode. I just want to take a moment to tell you about the two main options of my astrology services. So the first one is coaching. If you are an aspiring astrologer, and by that I mean someone who's perhaps a hobbyist astrologer or someone who's learning astrology or a student, or you've got a few books and you've been doing it for a while, but perhaps you need a little bit of help to bring it all together, then maybe getting some astrological coaching from me would be the answer for you. The astrology coaching I offer is a 1-hour session on Zoom, and it's tailored to answer your particular questions. For example, if you have issues with natal chart readings, we can go there. Or if you're having problems working with your forecasting, we can go there. Or even basic astrology stuff, or even getting yourself organized for your astrology business. The idea is that astrological coaching will answer your particular questions. It's tailored specifically to you and where you are in your astrological journey. And I'm happy to help you out with some guidance about how you can get going, what to focus on, and what to dismiss. So that would be the astrological coaching for people trying to learn astrology. The second astrological service I offer is consultations. So this is for someone who perhaps doesn't know anything about astrology, but they just want to have their chart read or get their chart done. Call it what you will. So once more, this is a 1-hour consultation over Zoom. I will interpret your chart, tell you about the main features, tell you about where the energy is flowing, and all the rest of what is entailed in a thorough natal chart interpretation. I can also add in some forecasting in there too, bearing in mind we only have 1 hour. So just in summary, I've got coaching for people who want to learn astrology, and I've got consultations for those who want to get an astrology reading done. I'm Alison Price from Starzology.com. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next time.